keeps on leaving and we keep on moving. When do we pass on our wisdom to the youth? My veteran story, lost arts discussions, fireside chats with a bourbon or two. It's time to hear the stories by our military veterans. Get yourself ready, it's the Lost Arts Podcast. The Lost Arts with Andrew Cox.
Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Lost Art Podcast. That podcast giving a voice to our veterans. On today's episode, we're going to have something special. Yep, that's right. Fireside chat with the crew. I know that is my special part of the week. 2 times a week. It's been happening, which is pretty cool. Anyways, if you're enjoying the podcast as much as I'm enjoying the podcast, and make sure you go hit up the lostart.podbean.com and go on there, click that merchandise tab, go on there, buy you a hat, buy you a shirt, get you something cool, help support what we got going on here and getting our veteran voices out for all to hear. All right, with that, I got the crew here. They're all smiles and ready to go. I guess we're going to start with our cigar explanation of what he's smoking. What was that cigar? What
A cigar, yes.
No, I mean what your
Presentation.
presentation. Thank you, I appreciate it. It's good. We'll go with that.
Today we're smoking an Ashton. Ashton's basically came out in the 1980s as a joint effort with Carlos Fuente. But it's a nice, smooth, I would dare say mild cigar. Just a nice evening smoke that I enjoy. So it's nice and smooth and creamy, and just something perfect for a podcast.
I don't know if I'd ever say creamy when you're talking about a cigar.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's a strange description.
Nope.
No? I mean,
No.
you are the cigar expert, so I'm going to go with whatever you say.
I wouldn't say expert, but I maybe know a little bit more than all you, and that's about it.
You definitely know more than me about cigars, that's for sure. All right. You, Michelle. Mike, how you doing?
Doing good. It's been a good week. Had
Yeah.
a good weekend, man. I've been productive on my list of chores. I got grass cut, all the mulch replaced in flower beds.
Wow.
I got flowers planted, dogs barking. You know, it's just,
You got it all.
yeah. I'm actually proud of myself because I was like, man, look at me. And now I'm like, oh, the back is killing me now. I
Yeah.
was like, oh.
We all look at you tomorrow when you can't get out of bed.
Yeah, I'll be like, it's been a good week. I'm doing good.
Awesome. Good to hear. Krista. Kirsty. What is it? There's
Kristen.
3 or 4 different ones. So
Kristen. Yeah, Kristen.
yeah, Kristen. Yeah.
Had a great week, got a lot done. Yesterday we unloaded about 2,000 pounds worth of Trex decking. So I'm a little sore today. So working on the deck and getting that done. So yeah, use muscles I didn't know I had. Actually I got
Nice.
some paperwork from the VA, and I'm going to, believe it or not, go back to school and finish my degree. I'm not telling my husband. That's why I was just asking him to close his door. It's going to be a little bit of a surprise. So that's going to be a little bit of a unique situation. I'm trying to keep it from him. And after 34 years of marriage, you don't really keep secrets.
I
So,
was going to say it's going to be rough to do.
well, I mean, I can do it because I'm just going to take care of some stuff during the day, you know, when he's not around, but we'll get it done. And I did share it with my son, so he'll know what I'm up to. And,
Well,
Gonna do that.
does he listen to the podcast? If he does, then
I
Yeah,
might just
yeah.
like not let him listen to this one, you know, because I
There you
sent
go.
him the links, you know. So
oh, okay, yeah, just don't send him this.
Not send him this
And
one.
the one that he jumped on, yeah, I couldn't be able to use it, so I apologize. He needs to come back on the podcast at some point.
Yeah, so.
That
But it's been a good week. So hot, enjoyed the day by the pool today, and having a little bit too much girl rum.
All right.
from
I
other
like
Well,
states.
I'm glad, Trista, you went back to school. You're going back to school for gunsmithing yet. I mean, I'm proud of you. That's really
For what? Gunsmithing? Is that what you-
gunsmithing. Yeah, I mean, that's,
it's an
that's,
important subject.
so absolutely. I keep
Yeah.
seeing it online. Go to school for gunsmithing. I'm like, okay.
Truck driving actually was what I was going to do.
Nice. Nice. I will say, driving my motorhome, I really like it. It puts me up even with the semi trucks, and I don't have as much power as they have, but still do pretty good. Uh, but yeah, that's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I think I could be a truck driver someday. Not really. That would mean I'd have to actually work. I don't want to do that. Aaron, how are you?
I'm doing good. I see Mark's trying to get in, but he's using
Is
that
he?
auto account thing. Yeah, you might. While I'm talking, you might want to see what he's doing. But
I'm sending him the link now.
okay. But yeah, I'm doing good. Not as productive as Krista and Kristen, or Misha, also known as Mike. I think Vic's probably been even more productive than I have this week. Outside of work, should I say? Work meaning that thing we get paid to do. It depends, right? If you enjoy doing it, then it's not a job.
Ooh, yeah. It's a good point.
But yeah, other than that, all is good. Weather's been great. It did rain the other night, but hasn't rained since. So I'm running my water bill up to try to get some green grass in the yard because it's up until this week it all turned brown. But like I said, I've been watering it, so I'm not cutting it yet, though, Mike. So
Got to get it cut, but let it grow. You got to mow it high. Mow it high.
well, it wasn't growing, so there ain't nothing to cut yet.
All right, let's see if I can get Mark in here and join us. I don't know.
While you're still doing that, I will let everybody know it's kind of exciting. I was doing my veteran story with Andrew earlier, and when I stopped what I was doing, which was what I do every weekend, watch the Razorbacks play baseball. They were losing 6-0 in the fourth inning, and I get done with my podcast to go back and see they are winning 9-6 in the eighth inning. So that was good.
See, podcast is good for something.
Yeah, I guess I better jump on podcast when they're losing, huh?
Yeah. You're gonna have to do something. I don't know. All right. As Mark continues to try to get on here, oh, look at there. Vic's texting all kinds of good stuff. Anyways, what's been going on, and what are we going to talk about this week? I know who was it? Somebody sent something out. Who was that that sent that squatting thing? Right, the squatters. It's pretty
Yeah, I had
amazing.
sent it because I was listening to a podcast Friday when I was driving for work, and then I listened to it briefly yesterday and then today. But they were talking about, especially in New York State and California. And I guess New York State is, and the reason they were talking about it is because the one guy in the podcast was saying his grandparents' home that they had both passed away, but his mother wasn't, she had lived in it, but she still owned it, but she didn't live in that area. But I don't know how true it is. I don't want to get blamed for false news, but in the state of New York, if a squatter can prove that there hasn't been anybody living in a home for 30 days, they have legal rights to move in. And then it's on the owner of the home. You can't just change the locks or do anything like that because you can be arrested, because the squatters have legal rights at that point to a residence, even though they don't own it. But what they found out was the people that were living in the home, there was multiple families. The person that had initially basically squatted was renting out rooms in this home to other people. and making money off of it.
Wow.
So they were having to incur the cost to get them evicted and pay for court fees and all that, basically to get them evicted, just so they could get the house back. But then they started talking about stories and, like California and that. But I instantly went to my phone and looked, and I pulled up the one I sent. I think it was more of a video than it was a read. But, it was talking about the rights of the squatters. But they were also going back into like pandemic in 2020, people even in New York City that had left the city and left their apartments or whatever they had, and then came back because the city shut down. And there's people living in like high-rise apartments. These people were paying $3,500 to $5,000 a month to live in, and there was people living in their apartments. And they're like, well, how the hell did they get in? And they're like, the building security said we can't stop them. You were gone for this amount of time, and they legally have a right to live there because by the state law, it's considered abandoned, even though you still own it.
So let's say, hypothetically speaking, I'm going to go on vacation for 30 days. So if I'm gone for 30 days on vacation, somebody could go into my home and go ahead and take that over.
Depending on what state you live in, yes.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't think that would fly in the wonderful state of Oklahoma. I don't think that's a thing. They may find the end of a shotgun barrel or something,
So
it's a possibility.
So Florida just passed a law against that. So up until recently, yeah, they could do it here in Florida too. But legislation and Governor DeSantis said, no, we're going to pass a law that says they have no rights to stay in your home. I don't know the details.
Like, where did it come from that they do get it right? When did that become a thing?
When
I may be mistaken, but I think it goes clear back to the Depression, squatters' rights.
Yeah.
And you couldn't just evict somebody because they couldn't pay the rent, especially in, larger cities like New York City, and that, there had to be a process to allow people to be able to pay. If they were able to pay at any point, you couldn't just kick them out as a landlord.
I get that, because that's somebody that's gone in and is renting a place or whatever. It's not somebody just, hey, willy-nilly, I'm going in someplace.
But go ahead, Aaron.
Well, no, I was just going to say, so that's one of those laws that people have manipulated in turn to benefit essentially people that, how do I put this? Basically idiots. So, it's basically protecting idiots. You're absolutely right. It wasn't a law that was meant to protect people that just go squat on somebody. It was meant, like Mike said. Yeah.
Yeah. They found the loophole.
Yeah. They found the loophole. It was meant for, like what Mike said was to prevent, during COVID was another one, right? And people fell behind on bills and rent. So they can't just, evict them because they can't access a job right now because everything's shut down. But, somehow folks find a way through the system and manipulate it. And since we're such kind-hearted people in the U.S., we say, oh, well, we can't just throw these people out on the street. Why not? That's where they came from.
I think people used to live more gracefully and accept wherever they are, right? So if I was struggling or whatever the case is, and I became a train hobo, and I'm riding the trains, I think they were accepted it more gracefully back in the day. than they do nowadays. They think that they deserve something. Like it's my right. I don't know.
I'm a member of a certain organization, and and I'm reading all the old newsletters. I mean, the old ones from the 80s. And a lot of people who were, when they were first starting out, the president and other people were sending out these newsletters, and they were talking about starting up the dues and making the membership becoming a paying member. And some of the things that were coming across were how much the dues were going to be, and were they going to make it mandatory to pay? How long the dues were for? Was it for a year? Was it for a lifetime? Were they going to have a lifetime membership, and some other things? And in doing this, they were discussing, how much it would be. And they were saying that, would you make the dues mandatory? And they said, well, we don't want to make it mandatory if someone can't pay. And we don't want to make it that you can't be a member because of being poor. And they use those words, poor or poverty. And it's just interesting that you're talking about this, as Mike brought it up, so they said, maybe you could make a donation every year when you can afford to, or you can start paying once you can afford to. So that's just kind of right along those lines of, you can pay when you can afford to pay. You can still be a member of this organization and then start paying when you can afford it, if you can't afford it. And then those who can't afford it can pay more. So that's just interesting that this all comes up. And this was back in the 80s when the organization started. Reading through, and this went on for several years, talking about, we don't want to exclude anyone from the membership of the organization because of poverty or because they're destitute. They can still be a member, they can still participate, but we're not going to exclude them because they're poor because of poverty. That's just very, very interesting.
Wow, that is
well. The good old Wikipedia says basically homesteading or squatting started from the gold rush back in 1848, but in where was it? 1862, California passed the Homestead Act, which basically said if the property was abandoned, then somebody coming in could file a legal claim on the property that was abandoned. And then starting in the Depression, 2007, 2008, a recession, is when people started basically exploiting the loopholes. So that's kind of seems where the history of that is.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, but I just saw an article about a week ago about a woman that moved out of New York and then went back after like 3 months and found squatters in. And it just so happened that the squatters left the doors unlocked. So she went back into her property and started changing the locks on the doors back to something that she could control. And the squatters called the cops, and the cops arrested her.
Wow.
Yeah. Boggles my mind.
That doesn't even make sense.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the one I was listening to, the podcast I was listening to, because his mother had a locksmith come in and change all the door locks.
Yeah.
And she got arrested. The county sheriff came and arrested her for it because she didn't have a legal right to do it.
It makes, when did we ever think that America was going to get like this? That somebody can look at you, go, you know what? I want what's yours. I know you worked hard for it. I know you earned it. I'm going to take it. And there's nothing you can do. Sorry, not sorry. I want what's yours, and I'm taking it.
That's insane to me.
Yeah.
People work hard for what they get,
and you get arrested.
Maybe not everybody, but I would say the majority of people work hard for what they get. And for somebody just to go in and be like, nah, it's mine. Have a nice day.
Now, here was an example. You guys heard about like what happened with Gordon Ramsay's restaurant in England, that he had a restaurant that he was renovating, and it was on the like the higher end, more affluent neighborhood of people, and it had been empty for quite some time. I think he has a lease. The property's being leased from a more affluent friend of his who is very wealthy. And the gentleman, it was a restaurant and hotel. And the gentleman couldn't sell it, so Gordon Ramsay rented it from him, like a 10-year lease or something like that, for so much, several £1,000,000 a year. And so he's renovating the hotel and restaurant. Well, it's been empty for quite some time because he's renovating it. Well, some Earth Eco group went in and took it over, and he couldn't get in it. So that was a whole, I think it's played out now. They were going to start giving soup and food to the local people and said that you have the right to be in an affluent neighborhood and come in and just, we're going to share this affluence with all the other people, of like us, the average person. It's not fair for them to be able to come in. And I think, and so he had gone in and tried to talk to them, and the police said, nope, nobody can come in. They've taken over. It's theirs now. And so I think it's kind of played out a little bit. A lot of them have left. And now the ones that are there are saying, we're going to manage it for him. We're going to be caretakers for him. And I think it's still playing out in court. Right. So, but it's very interesting. The people who vote for this kind of stuff and who support that kind of government and legislature they're the ones that are having to actually face it. And I think that's happening some in California as well. There's some people in a neighborhood in a house that an actor was going through, and that house got taken over, or it was left vacant, and that's taken place in California as well. And they're calling the cops, and the cops are like, there's nothing we can do about it. This house has been left empty. And they're like, you can't get a victim. They're causing disruption in the neighborhood. Oh, too bad. You guys are the ones who vote for this type of legislature and government and people to do that.
I do like to see it when it comes full circle on
Yes,
the individuals that deserve it, we'll say.
So there I was, and I started blasting.
Oh my God. That is wild. Well, what else is happening in the world that we want to talk about?
I don't know, but I think I'd rather be there. Them birds are having fun.
Hey,
Bird church. Bird church.
I haven't seen one, but man,
I
they're chirping.
can hear them. I can hear them.
They are chirping. Yeah, you should see the lake. It looks nice.
Yeah, I
see a couple birds flying over now.
I should get me an RV and start traveling.
I'm telling you, I don't. All of you just get an RV. Come on, travel with
looking.
us.
I was looking over my shoulder to see if my wife heard me, but yeah.
I know where you can get a cheap awning.
Huh. You know what? Awning
slightly used awning.
Yeah, I could get you a real cheap one. Go digging behind a dumpster at Fort Story. You'll find me.
Sorry.
Yep.
Hey,
in case you're wondering,
none of the group brought it up. We didn't bring it up. Krista brought it up.
In case you're wondering, smooth sailing so far. So nothing crazy has happened.
Put the bungee straps on the refrigerator.
But basically, yeah, I did have to do that. I almost lost some stuff out of the fridge the first go around. Yeah. Doors flung wide. I had to yell at the girls, go close the doors. It was good times. But by the way, I was pulling out. So there's pulling out of a parking lot or whatever. And the road is here, right? So it kind of does one of these things, right? So I come in and I hit it. Boom, I'm good here. But then I had to start turning. So by the time I turned and the back wheels hit, it was like, and my girls were screaming in the back. Ah! It was a good time. I'm learning all kinds of stuff. It's good.
Have you made a checklist yet?
Huh?
Have you made a checklist yet?
Nope. I refuse. Not until the next big expense, and then we may think about it.
He's taking mental notes.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of things that you can still knock off the outside. You better be careful.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. As long as I bring the slides in, I think I'll be okay. Yeah. Well, the slides, and then I gotta also the levelers, the jacks that go down. You gotta bring those up. If you do that, it's all good.
If this is a hypothetical, if you accidentally pull away and you're still hooked up to sewage, just don't tell us.
If it's
Just don't tell us.
still hooked up to the sewage.
Yeah.
Oh
If you
no.
forget to
I'm,
unhook the stewage before you pull away, just don't tell us,
oh no, I'm telling everybody. You kidding me?
because we'll give you shit about it for a long time.
Literally
I-
and figuratively.
Yeah, Andrew's
Uh,
pulled his man card. He's like, I ain't reading no damn directions. No damn way I'm reading any damn directions. Nope.
Now ours came with an app, and the app it had several checklists and things like that different lists you could print out. And and every now and then my phone will say unused apps, but we do use the app, and I'll print out the list and look at it. And we do two different things. I don't know if your wife helps. Having children is different, but he has his list that he does. And when he's doing it, when we're either setting up or when we're packing up to leave, we'll start our stuff, and then I don't talk to him and he doesn't talk to me when we're doing our pack up or our tear down, which either one. And unless it's something important, and then I have the list and on my phone, or just you can do it, print out whatever you want to do. So because when we had talked to some friends before we were leaving, or before we got our rig, that's our friends who have their huge Class A like yours. They have a huge one, and she told us that because they live in theirs full time, just like you, they're nomads from the Methodist Church. And she said people will come up to them and they'll want to start talking. She'll say, excuse me, sorry, we're packing up now. If you could just come back in about an hour, because they know that they make mistakes or something will happen. But yeah, he'll come in, and if he's doing something outside, I don't go out and interrupt him. I wait, or I'll write down the note to ask him when he's done, because he's got a list of something, and I don't want to make a mistake. And so, because we'd had a couple, but yeah.
yeah, the wife
That's-
does most of the inside stuff,
Mhm.
and I do
Yeah.
the outside stuff.
Yep, woman in every kitchen. You got it. I just
That's
keep
right.
going back to that MMA guy or whatever. No, but
As long as she's
seriously, what
barefoot,
works. Yeah, and
Okay.
pregnant. Got it. Yeah, but
not
seriously,
only
no.
kids.
Yeah.
I'm good with
But she's
two.
got the
I can
kids,
barely
and
handle that.
right, and she's got them, and she knows what she's going. Because I'm the one that is wrapping plastic, because it's like a hurricane and a tornado that goes off in your rig when you're driving down the road. So
Yeah.
she's got to get everything set up, because I've got a few glass things in there that I have to put toilet paper around every time we travel. And so you got to get it set, and so that's what we do. Yeah, we have a plan. And we take a fence that we put outside for the dogs and everything.
Yeah,
It's a big ordeal. So packing, it takes we can do it in about an hour. It's not bad, an hour to pack up, an hour to break down. Yeah. So
I think the hard part is going to be like if we go somewhere and we stay for a month and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
Then you go to pack up, and it's like, oh man, oh yeah,
Might need a
this and
day.
that.
Yeah.
Whereas if like we're doing right now, just kind of traveling every night, we're hitting a different spot. It's very simple. It's just like a couple of things we move around.
You don't take everything out.
Outside, and then we're on the road. So,
but yeah, we do have an app. So see if your rig has an app. See if you can download an app for your like, not your model number per se, but for your brand or something. See if your brand has an app. You could download
I'm sure
it. That
there
might,
is.
if you're up to it. If you're an app guy.
Andrew
right.
just goes around and kicks the tires. He's like, "Yep, looks good to me."
And what's wrong with that?
I was
You
gonna
have
say-
to check the tires.
I was gonna
That
say
is part of it.
the
gotta
awning
kick 'em,
removal is a time saver now. That's what it came down to. He
Yeah.
removed the awning to save time.
That's
what it
right.
was. Yep.
Yeah. I hope you all recognize that.
If it's not
Yeah,
there,
then he's
you
like,
can't.
when we backed into this place, it fit. Now it doesn't fit coming out. Why?
I wonder what that could have been. Oh my gosh. All right. So what's the latest and greatest? What do we got going on this week? Anything good?
Let's see. We're winding down the school year. Graduation start on May 31st. I'm attending 7 graduations this year. It's going to be kind of cool. And then, I went to, this is interesting, Saturday night. Last night I went to our local Cinderella Fella Ball, which was pretty damn, it was fun. I had a good time. The Cinderella Fella Ball is it's for current and former students of our special education program in the district. So like special needs people come out, and current and former students, and it's just like a Marine Corps ball. There's a little bit of a introductory ceremony. They recognize the people, eat dinner, and then after dinner, it's dancing. It was a really good time. I didn't like. Well, I don't know if I want to do a tuxedo. So I just did. I did all the accoutrements for a suit. And got as fancy as I could in a suit, and then put leather chaps over it, and then rode to the event on the bike. And then
Nice.
and it was on Hilton Head Island in a very affluent neighborhood. And I drove up to the main gate in the seaside edition in Hilton Head. But like there are several small affluent neighborhoods and then a resort in the very back. But I pulled up to the main gate, and the gate guard was like, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, "I'm here for the Cinderella Fellow Ball." And she's like, "Not on that, you're not."
What?
And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What? Excuse me?" She goes, "That is not allowed on property."
The motorcycle?
Correct. There's a couple of no motorcycle properties around here. Period. If you want to live on that
What?
property, you don't own a bike. No bikes on property. Period. Even if somebody's coming to visit, no bikes on property. Yeah. So I'm like, well, how do we work through this? Because I was invited specifically to represent, Beaufort County School District. So are you the final authority? The owners have already decided those are not allowed. And I'm like, yeah. So can I talk to your boss then? Are you the final authority? She goes, you're just going to have to wait. I'll get to you when I can get to you. You need to pull over there. And I'm like, okay. I pulled over, and there was at this point, there was a line of cars behind me because I was blocking proceedings up. And then I probably sat there for like 10 minutes before the line went away, and she went into the little guard shack, called somebody, and they came out and said, "You're okay, sir." I was like, okay, thanks. Finished my little ride back to the resort. Yeah, but not
But
on
those
that
things
one.
aren't allowed in here.
Yeah, those things are not allowed in here.
What was the neighborhood? Was it Sea Pines or
I don't think it was Sea Pines.
it was?
Maybe it was Sea Pines. I don't remember. It was Sea something. Sonesta Resort. It was the resort in the back.
It
Yeah,
was,
but-
if I'm not mistaken, it was See Your Bike Out of Here.
Yeah,
area.
yeah.
That was the name of it.
But she got all.
So you weren't asking for a friend. You were asking for your own friend.
See your ass out of here.
That's right.
Did you have a good time at the?
I did, and I did not drink, by the way.
So
We are proud of you.
They just didn't want to. Those people just don't want to hear loud motorcycles running
Yeah.
up and down the road.
Yeah. Oh man,
Unbelievable.
when I was driving in and out, everybody that was on the sidewalk was looking at me like I had a
They
third
were
arm
looking.
out of my head.
they'll get
Yeah.
over it. It's one night.
They were like, "Who authorized
It
this?"
is
There gonna be
one
some phone
bike.
calls made.
They'll
Oh, yeah.
get over it.
Turned on some heavy metal, turned it all the way up,
Yeah, you did.
all the way out, all the way in. It was awesome.
Man, I
We had a good
enjoy
time.
it. Go ahead, Crystal.
No, I'm just going to talk about people with disabilities. No, go ahead. No, go.
No, I
Talk
was
about
going to
bikes.
say, I enjoy a good bike. I enjoy listening on a bike. But I know even in our neighborhood, we've got a neighbor 2 houses up. And I'm assuming it's the latest boyfriend. And he'll come towing in at 10, 11 o'clock at night. And you can hear him coming down the wrist like, he'll pull in the driveway and he just, wow. And then that's this. I walked out one night, finally, I'm like, what the? And I walked out and I stood there and watched it. And that was his signal for them to put the garage door up
Oh, that's funny.
so he could ride the bike in the garage.
Again.
And don't get me wrong, I mean I grew up riding dirt bikes and motorcycles. I don't own any anymore, but it's this constant when you sit there and listen to it. I mean, what's the wow. Okay, I know you're fucking warming it up, but can we can we tone it down just a hair here? Can you explain that to me, Vic? Is that
If
you as a
if Vic by chance would go join the Honda club, typically speaking, Hondas are fairly
he'd be
fairly
riding
quiet
Gold
and
Wings.
muffled.
Yeah.
But no, he's got to ride his hardcore Indian motorcycle with
Oh yeah, well,
super loud pipes.
Indians.
It doesn't have super loud pipes.
So,
Yeah.
so motorcycles nowadays do not need that to warm up. By the way,
Yes.
That's true.
Well,
These
I'm
are-
well aware of that.
These,
But
I mean, unless
Yeah.
they're using carbureted motorcycles nowadays. But
Yeah.
but to add on to that, guess what they did at Daytona Bike Week this year?
They did what?
They started handing out citations for people that were revving their motorcycles up.
Ooh.
At Sturgis?
No, Daytona Bike Week.
Daytona.
Oh, Daytona. No,
Because
Yeah,
it's just-
actually, I had
it
actually
gets-
heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a time and place for it, but it gets a little bit ridiculous when you're sitting there next to people and you're just like, wow, just revving it up as loud as it goes.
Yeah.
I
You
don't
know,
like
they're-
to be heard.
Yeah, they're
And when they're
lucky.
It's
Yeah, it gets pretty bad, but they're lucky they ain't blown an engine.
I mean, I get it. I understand the purpose behind it. But when you're sitting out at
What is the
11,
purpose
12
behind
o'clock
it?
at night going,
Annoy you.
And just,
It means open the garage door. That's the purpose
Yeah.
behind it.
Yeah, open the garage door. Come on. I think that makes sense.
and then the other side of it too is he'll get out in the street and he'll just sit there and clam down a brake and just do a burnout while he takes off. And it's like, you mother, I swear to, he'll come flying past the house and he'll do a lap and then sit there and keep revving and revving and revving. And I said, one of these days you're going to get a fucking shovel handle in that freaking, in the front end of that damn thing. And I'm going to watch you do about 3 flips down the damn street, And I don't, I have nothing against anybody who rides a bike because I actually enjoy riding bikes, but it's like, excuse my language, you cocksucker. I mean, seriously, you want to sit here and do? Okay, let's go. Okay,
See, those are the people that give the rest of us a bad name because
exactly.
when I'm coming home at night, I'll give just enough gas and then I pull in the clutch and I coast all the way down the street.
Yeah.
Next time I hit the gas is when I'm coming into the driveway.
Yeah, I got more friends who ride bikes and they're the same way. They coast down the street and it's just enough to get them in the driveway and get them home and get it put up. And that's it. But I don't get the just sitting there having to wind it out and crank it. And,
It's because they bought a bike to get attention and they didn't get enough attention that day.
Yeah.
No attention.
Is that what you got to do to get attention?
Apparently that's what they have to do to get attention.
Yeah.
I mean, Andrew never revved his bike up, but he'd always bring that sidecar sliding in sideways.
That's true. Yeah.
Hey, my kids
you.
loved his bike on that Ural or whatever. What is it? Was it a Ural? Andrew?
He froze up.
Oh,
Andrew.
that's the Russian bike, the Ural.
Yeah, when you at Pendleton, you used to come over to the house.
Yeah.
We'd have a get together or something, and both Bailey and Abby would run out and want to look at it. And you're like, you can look at it, you can sit in it, but I can't drive you around because I don't want your dad mad.
I'll have
We
to
lose
dig out
Andrew.
some photos. So I had an old BMW 550. My dad had an old BMW K100 RT. So I'll have to dig out some photos for you.
I don't even know what to say.
Speaking of photos,
I know. I looked for it tonight. I couldn't find it. I will find it before we. I will find it.
saying, in case you forgot, that's all. That's all. Just
I
letting
didn't
you know.
forget. Dad,
we're not
Ron
gonna
went
forget.
to the safe for it. He couldn't find it in the
was.
safe.
She was looking for it.
I
Seriously.
was. I was like, oh shit! I go find it. I'll go find it. I'll look for it. I will look for it.
So was Mark ever able to join or not?
He had a family
not.
emergency.
Oh shit. Okay.
Did he? Is that what he said?
Said, delayed because of an urgent family call.
Gotcha.
Things come up. Because it's, yeah. But I was going to talk to you, Dad. Can we maybe move this to 8 o'clock on Sunday nights? It is, like, what do you call this? What is this?
Prime time.
Go.
No, what's going on in the summertime? Daylight savings. Yeah.
Daylight savings.
Yeah, it's daylight savings time.
How many?
It's summertime. I need more time outside. Okay, I'm outvoted. I saw the look.
I'm
No,
out.
hey,
you
I'm
just need
good.
some more
I
time
can
by
do
the
that.
pole.
Like how many you
I couldn't hear you.
I'm
But
good
I'm
for what
outside. You can be outside.
Like today, how many are you doing?
I'm good for whenever.
Yeah, I'm the same. I can do whenever. It doesn't matter.
I mean, I might be a
do
little
it.
cranky. I might be a little cranky the next morning if we did it on at 10 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? But
I'll
10
be
o'clock
quiet.
at night.
You're supposed to go
8.
lower.
8's good.
8. All right. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Thumbs down.
Because I saw what time Aaron texts, like 5:15, so I know what time you go to work. Get up.
Well, I don't go to work. I literally walk into the next room.
Okay.
He rolls out of bed.
You
Yeah.
work from home, really? You work
Yeah.
from home?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
yeah.
that's awesome.
Remote.
Cool.
I don't know how much longer it's going to be because I think
That's right.
pretty much
Start driving. Get in the
uh,
office.
yeah, our maintenance phase, I believe, begins like in October or something like that. Something like that. So I don't know how much of that will be me having to go into the office
Start earning that paycheck.
or me looking for another job because there may not be a need for me at that point. Who knows?
Hey,
I
Georgia
hear-
Pacific is hiring.
I hear the who? Georgia Pacific?
Georgia Pacific.
Yeah. I hear the Lost Art might be hiring by then too.
You hear the what?
The Lost Art might be hiring by then too.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We'll
What
see.
What do they call them? Roadies?
I need a roadie. I might need 2 or 3 roadies.
Want any sandwiches?
Look, there's a roadie right there.
There's a rowdy.
Right here. Look. See the dog?
Oh,
Say hi
that's
to him.
doggy. Hello.
She's great.
Hello.
All right, go on.
All
We're,
right.
we're recording. Get out of here. This isn't about you.
I thought you loved me.
But it can be.
He said, I thought you loved me.
The
Okay,
Lost Art.
Dad.
The Lost Art of managing them kids. Go outside and play. Don't come back till the sun goes down.
The street
Street light
lights are
on,
on. The street lights are on, Jimison.
Yep. I can remember we would get as the sun was going down, we'd get closer and closer back to the house, and like the street light was close to our house, so we'd be like right there. As soon as that light would come on, we'd be running up to the door to get inside.
They used to make us like just stay outside all day long.
Yeah.
You want water? There's a water hose.
Yeah, water hose.
Is now that's all I live by is water hose because water hose to the RV. Chris is cracking up.
No, it got cold here last winter or winter before last. I'm not sure which one. It only gets cold here a couple times a year and below freezing. So we went outside, we unhooked the water hose to the camper, and then you have a water filter, that you put into so you don't get pebbles or grit or anything into your water lines to the camper. The little blue, right? The blue filter. Well, we took it off so it didn't crack or anything happen in our water lines, and you can put a little bit of antifreeze into your lines, into your camper, right? And the underbelly of the camper is insulated, right? So we did everything, we did what we're supposed to do, and we put the heater on inside the RV because your heater is part electric and part propane. So it's half and half because ours is a travel trailer. And then we have an electric heater that we put in and we put it to about like 40 degrees. It doesn't have to be high, just enough to keep it from freezing. So we did all that. But we left the water filter, the blue water filter, which is like $35 or $40. We set it outside. We took it and set it on the ground, forgot about it. So we did all this prep work and set the water filter out. Didn't go back out there for a while, a few weeks. We went outside a few weeks later. We see it out there and it's exploded because there was water in the filter and it was. So all that work and then, which the camper is fine. And that's what's important, your investment, whatever. But yeah, so it's important if you bring the water filter in. Yeah. Duh.
That's good.
Yeah. So yeah, not as much as an awning, but
you know what? I used to like all of you. I'm going to sit here and drink my moonshine.
It's going to get worse before it gets better. So just.
I'm on your side, Andrew. No,
Thank you.
It's uncalled for. It's just
Thank you.
ridiculous.
I got one.
Yeah.
Oh, I had only one alter ego when we left last week, but by the next day I had 3 alter egos. Okay, so I can't help you. And I thought Aaron's wife's name was Kelly, so I don't know what happened. So
yeah, we got it all mixed up. It's okay.
So we're no longer using a term throwing a wrench in it. We'll throw an awning in it now.
Wow. You know what? I'm not airing your episode now. Airing your episode, Aaron.
I see what you did there, Andrew. Good job.
Thank you. You know what? At least I got one friend. The rest of you, I'm not sure I can hire you on anymore.
Oh man,
you guys get paid so much right now, so
I'm waiting. Vic's waiting on those royalties to come in for the cigars.
No.
Oh yeah.
Let me get right on that.
So is this still creamy?
I heard, and I could be wrong on this, Vic. You correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a really great brand of cigar. You probably know what I'm talking about. It's like Brick House, I think is the name of it, and super real nice cigar. It's like one of the cheaper ones at the exchange, so you know it's good.
Yeah.
The sad part is you bought them for me, so
hey man, if that's what you like, that's what you like.
Yeah.
One of the best bottles of wine I ever had was $7. But the funny thing is, when I went into the humidor to buy those cigars and I came out with them, they're like, "Really, Brick House? Seriously?" I'm like, "It's for a friend. It's for a friend." Okay, dude, you don't have to lie. It's okay, man. I'm like, "No, seriously, it's for a friend."
You should, Vic. You should ask them why they're selling them there in the first place.
Exactly.
Like, do you want me to buy them or not?
You like them, dude. You don't have to lie.
Hey, you like what you like, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. Tastes just
Yeah,
fine.
but Andrew, they probably weren't as creamy as Vic's.
It's true. They're
Brick House
definitely
is
not
definitely
creamy.
Yeah.
It's a little bite on this one. You know?
Yeah, because those ones you got, you had to bite the end off. And
That's right. Oh my God, that's good.
Yeah. But it does beg the question.
Pros.
I wonder if I can find a sponsor. If I'm like, doing a cigar review every week, maybe, or twice a week, maybe I can find a sponsor.
Yeah, find a sponsor. You could do it.
All right. Yep.
yeah, I'm sure Swisher Sweet would jump on real quick. I mean, whatever.
Functional sweets. I'm all about backwoods.
Backwoods, yes. Yeah, you got to tear the pouch open.
Yeah,
There
those
you
are my
go.
guilty pleasure, man. I love backwoods. Seriously, I do. I don't even care. If Andrew can smoke Brick House, I can smoke backwoods.
That's right. Yeah.
Hey, whatever pays, right? If it's
Yeah.
paying.
That's my free. That's my favorite. My favorite cigar is the ones that are free 99.
Mhm.
Me too. Oh, Mike, you got to unmute, man.
Thank you for that tip.
That's what I'm here for.
Dad.
Krista, did you know Ken Surface? Yeah, she's good on mute too. We're all
You mean
A
Ulysses
little
S.
bit. He
Grant?
was in Okinawa before I got there. My husband knew
Gotcha.
him. Yeah, Mummy.
yeah. He
Mummy.
Ken Surface.
Oh,
Yeah.
Surface. Isn't that? It's not the
Surface.
same person. Yeah, Rod knows
No.
Surface pretty good.
Tuba player.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Ulysses S.
he's
Grant. Yeah.
yeah. That's his go-to for all of his pictures. He has is backwoods cigars. He
Is
you
it
know,
really?
yeah, it's Ulysses S. Grant. He always had a cigar. So every one of his pictures, Ken's got a backwoods cigar, and he said he buys them by like the box.
Oh,
And
sure, yeah.
when he does all of his,
That was back when
he's the official Grant for Gettysburg.
I made
He
my
does
weapon.
all the. So he's always got a backwoods cigar stuck in his mouth, and he's sucking on it or smoking it.
We need to get him on here on one of the fireside chats.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people we all know that need to be on here.
Yeah, get him on here as Ulysses S. Grant, though.
Yeah. Ken's a good
That'll
guy.
be that'll be fun.
Yeah.
I need to go back inside. I need
Yeah.
to go back inside the
When I
building.
was out at Quantico, one of the drummers in my section was a Civil War reenactor. His degree was in historical preservation. That was his degree. And in the Civil War reenacting rank structure, he was a captain. But he was a corporal in Marine Corps rank structure. So I'm like, what do you guys do? You just show up and wait for somebody to tell you what to hear. You stand here, and when after 3 minutes, play dead or something. What do you do? And he's like, no, I'm a captain. And I'm like, okay, I know what captains in the Marine Corps do. What do captains in pretend Civil War do? He goes, I do captain shit. I have to make sure everybody's got food. I make sure everybody does this. I make sure. He goes, I do captain shit. I'm like, seriously? He goes, yeah, it's like an actual thing. If you are given a rank commensurate to what your responsibility is as a Civil War reenactor. So he goes, I got to make sure everybody's doing this and that. Somebody actually gets hurt. I have to make sure we got medical attention. I got the safety vehicles, and I'm doing all this stuff. And I'm like, wow, okay, I had no idea. Never knew.
They live commiserate to their rank.
Yeah.
Hello, my
Depending on their rank, they would sleep in a half shelter. If you were an officer, then they got a tent, and they are tried and true to that. That's how they would live, and it was just blew my mind with Ken. Even in California, when we were at Pendleton, he got into it there, and I went out and watched. One of them was like an Escondido or something, and I'm like, no damn Civil War happened out here. And he's like, you gotta stop it, and you gotta put it in perspective of what, we're trying to reenact. And I was like, okay, you guys are running across the a desert or high desert, whatever. It's like, okay, there's the freaking ocean right over there. But,
No, where I grew up in Ackworth, well, the next little town over is like 5 minutes up the road. It was called Kennesaw, Georgia. We had the Kennesaw National Mountain Battlefield. And there was an old man that had this place in town called Dent Myers. And it was I don't know if y'all ever heard the General. It was a locomotive. And we had but we would do the General Locomotive Chase, and it was stolen. That was the big thing there. But they would do the Civil War reenactments and everything over there at the National Mountain Battlefield all the time, and it's still there. It's a Civil War monument and everything. But yeah, it was a big deal. Always, the guys were always out there doing it every year, and of course, I was part of the little General Cloggers. Yes, sad. I clog and still play the banjo, but yeah.
Clogging, huh?
When you grow up there, that's what you do.
Yeah.
It was a big deal. It was a big to do. But
I know about clogging. I've never done it, but I know about it.
if you're from Oklahoma, you know about clogging and square dancing. So
That's right.
you do.
I actually did square dancing in elementary school.
Yeah, you had to.
Hot.
As
You
did
remember that,
all we.
Vic?
Yeah.
One of the years when I was at Quantico, we hosted one of the last East Coast Marine Musician birthday balls. And one of the picture for on the program was a picture of Neil Hobbins. Half of it was his Marine Corps uniform of him holding a drum, and the other half was his Civil War uniform holding a rope tension drum. So that was the picture on the program, and we made a coin out of that picture too.
Huh.
The coin actually turned out pretty well. I thought it was pretty. I got it. Hold on a second.
Michelle, you're looking pretty good over there.
I know.
Oh, bad.
That's my best friend.
Best friend.
Aaron, what are you looking up at?
He's watching sports.
The TV,
He's watching
What
the
are you
sports
watching?
ball.
the Braves and the Mets.
All right.
Who's winning?
It's tied 1-1.
I don't know
Yeah,
why
the-
you're not watching the Pirates. I mean, the
You can do
Pirates.
Bobby.
That's
Bobby.
like the only team.
Yeah.
No,
days, Bobby.
I watch winning teams.
Do I need to send you my Sid Bream? Send you my Sid Bream signed baseball?
Nah, Pirates is a team I wouldn't mind watching, but as a Braves fan, I try to watch the Braves. Obviously, as a Hog fan, but I definitely, I'm not going. Yeah, it's
What does it say? The
That's pretty
soundtrack
cool.
of victory? And
Yep.
what's on the back?
All the logos for each of the bands.
Ah.
Oh,
pretty
cool.
cool.
That's for
So
every
they
band.
did make a band coin.
Well,
huh?
it was for all the bands on the East Coast to include the President's Own and the Commandant's Own. We invited them.
Okay.
So
Oh,
Very good. Very good.
You know, Andrew, I think there needs to be a Lost Art Challenge coin.
Mm.
Oh Lord.
so the challenge coin is it's very much like the name, right? So it's the lost art. So it's kind of lost right now, and you have to be very artful to find it. So
You
got
can
one of
put the
those too.
five
You
of
wanna
us on the
see it?
front and an awning on the back.
oh my god, I can't take you anywhere.
Hey, you just said you're open for designs.
No,
This
the
is
front
suggestion.
needs to be an RV and the back needs to be a fly rod
There you go.
with you on there. Just
Fishing
I got a
line.
tattoo like that. You know.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Andrew's already got the coin.
I do have a coin, or I used to. I don't have it anymore. But I had one as a master sergeant. Yeah.
you had one made.
I got that one too.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I don't even. Well, actually, I think it was on my my Oorah Marine Corps rocking chair. I had it on there. My wife put it on there.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't get one.
Well, you didn't buy one, so
I didn't realize I
I'm
had to
just
buy
kidding.
one.
I only had so many. I don't even know where they all went.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna. Okay.
Wow, you're leaving me? That's all it took? Dang, that's just messed up. You know what? I'll give you a coin. Yep, that's it right there. That motivator on the hold on, turn it around. The motivator there, that's me when I was in England doing the it's a picture from the pass and review for the 350th anniversary of the Royal Marines. We were passing in review in front of the Queen's husband at the time. The Queen was there too. She was,
You mother.
What year was it?
I don't know, man.
Well, in
I'll be honest, I have no idea.
in 2015, when I was on that billet, I was telling you about the
Yeah.
Combined Joint Interagency Task Force billet. I served with a British lieutenant colonel that was asking if I was part of some ceremony that came out there. So I didn't know if it was before. Was it before 2015 or after?
It was around then, probably.
Around then.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
I mean, British guys are kind of like some civilians. They see a Marine, they're like, "Were you there? Were you there?" It's like, man, there's 175,000 plus Marines. You know,
I got to be
could've
honest.
been anybody.
Those guys, those British Royal Marines, I tell you, they can drink. Oh my God.
Yes.
Like the Canadian gun runners can drink?
I'm pretty sure they'd give them a run for their money. if not drink them under the table.
All right.
Yeah. I went over, I was the drum major, right? I was the drum major. We went over and we went to France. We did Bellawood. Then we went over to England and we met the Royal Marines. And it was like the first night. And all the drum majors like, hey, we're going to do a get together, go down by the bar or whatever. And we're like, okay, sure, sounds good. So I meet them down there and they're like, oh, here's a drink. And I'm like, oh, cool, thanks. And it's like gin. I don't drink gin. I'm like, okay, thanks. It's free. I'll drink it. And I get like halfway done. They're like, oh, here's another one. And I'm like, oh, thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah. So I finished one and they're like, oh, here's another. And I'm like, oh my God, man. So I finished like 4 gins and they're like, hey, it's time for us. We're going to go out now. And I'm like, this wasn't going out. Like, I've already had 4 gins. Like, I'm ready for bed. They're like, no, we're going out. And I'm like, oh my God. We went out to some bar and it was the same thing. Just drink after drink after drink after. Oh my God. It was like midnight, 01. I stumble outside of the bar and I'm like, oh, I can't do this. And the head drum major who was retiring that year from Wiggy was his name. He was retiring and he stumbled out. And I was like, hey, and he's like, oh man, I got to go back to the barracks. They're trying to kill me. And I'm like, can I go with you? And he's like, yeah, come on. So we went back to the barracks. And then, of course, all day the following day, from like 08 to like 16:30, outside in the sun doing rehearsals. And, of course, I'm the only drum major for us who's out there drum majoring. Me. Of course, they have like extra drum majors for all their British guys. So they're like switching in and out throughout the day and literally sleeping on the back of the field. And I'm like, oh, you sorry son of a gun. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So that finished 16:30 rolls around. We have a little get together after and they're like, all right, hey, let's meet over at this place over here and then we'll figure out what we're going to do. And I'm like, isn't that a bar? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh God. It was every night. Every single night was like that. It was horrible. I mean, it was fun, but it was horrible. The next day was horrible every time. Yeah. It was fun though.
Okay. Yeah.
And then do that with a few donars in your stomach with that white cream sauce. Yeah. That shit's good. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, we had when I was in
Take it easy, Christian.
when I was in 29 Palms, it was 94, 95. There was a battalion or a company or a battalion of Royal British Marines in 29 Palms doing a joint training exercise. And we'd already moved from the old band hall to which you probably guys know as everybody with Tanks Battalion. But, you know, and what was the main road coming in? Was it Duval? Yes, Duval. But there's that big ass dirt ass field. It's a dirt lot. And they were in a barracks. It was next barracks down. And they all got out and they had a big circle standing out there. And it was like 1630, 1700. We all got out. Everybody's leaving and they're over there in this big ass circle. you know, they're all yelling at each other and yelling stuff. And a bunch of us walked out there. We're all corporals, and we're like, "The hell are you guys doing?" Or like, I don't remember what the hell they called it, but it was basically like what we would call, "Oh, we're having camaraderie. It's motivation." You know, and they literally had, it was, everybody had a number. It was like, you know, back when you were in like elementary school, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and they would call out and everybody had a number, but they would call out and these clowns were running into the center and duking it out.
Oh, wow.
It's whoever could put each other down. And they weren't trying to hurt each other, but it was like, you know, it was running in and I'll flip you over backwards, do this, and in the dirt, in the rocks. And they were like, "You guys want to join in?" We're like, "Yeah, sure, fuck it, you know, we'll do it." And that didn't last too damn long. We're like, "No, we're done." You know, it's like, no, you know, they're literally going in and slamming each other. Just, we're like, "Yep, we're done. I got to go home." You know, it's like, no. And they, you know, it was like when we were in Iraq in 04, Andrew, with the Royal Tonga Marines. They did the same shit.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, those guys would beat the crap out of each other. You know, that was a motivational thing.
And were you on duty the time that the Tongan Marine pulled threw down the U.S. Marine and then pulled his? Were you on duty then? Man, that was a good time.
Yeah.
I think you had called me. You're like, "You got to go up to the tower or whatever," and I'm like, "Okay." So I go in, and there's a Tongan Marine. He's looking out the window and looking down at the U.S. Marine. Has him at gunpoint as he's laying on the ground. And I walk in. I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, he was falling asleep, so I told him to stop falling asleep, and he didn't listen to me, so I kind of slapped him, and he didn't appreciate it, and he racked around, and he pointed his gun at me, so I took it from him and put him in condition 4, then threw him down on the ground, and I've been holding him here waiting for somebody to come help. And I'm like, okay, sounds good. I was like, "I'll get you somebody else up here." So I took him down to where the main watch area was. COC, I think is what we called it. I can't remember. But Edmondson was in there. I don't know if you remember this.
Yeah.
I'm in there telling this is what took place, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Edmondson like charges this Marine. He's on the far end of this room, charges after him, and he grabs him and shoves his head in the corner, and he's like, "You piece of crap! You don't deserve to look at a Marine." He's slamming his head in the corner, and I'm in awe. I don't even know what to do. I'm like, this is absolutely insane that this has happened. Yes, that. Yeah, just like that. And so I'm like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" So he stops and he starts walking back toward us, and all of a sudden he's like, "No, he didn't have enough." So he turned back around and he went back after him, did that, whack, 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 you know. And I don't know, Mike, if you remember this. He walked back over there, and who was the company commander? Captain. Oh man, what was his name?
I don't even remember at that point. I don't remember.
I can't remember. Anyways,
Yeah, nobody gives a shit.
Shut up. Anyway, so he had his legs propped up and he's like leaned back in his chair like this, right? And Edmondson come walking up. He's like, "Yeah, you know, you probably shouldn't have done that. But oh my God, was it funny?" And he just started cracking up laughing. I don't think anything ever came of it, but man alive, man, that was one of those moments on the deployment that I was like, wow, I can't believe this even just happened. It was cool. What?
Yeah, I see 101 text messages come in and say they don't give a shit about what we're talking about. So
I didn't realize we had chat in here. I'm gonna have to drop here shortly. We just had some old neighborhood kids show up to tell my wife Happy Mother's Day. She's happy.
Oh,
and
cool.
excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Oh my God. Picking your toothpick. I don't know what you.
He's just sitting there
Jeez.
listening to y'all going,
Yeah, I
Sitting
know.
there going on his Vienna sausage again.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's a good cigar. I'm not gonna let this go to waste.
yeah, I wouldn't either.
Ashton's a
Come
good
on,
cigar.
it's food.
I'm kind of hungry. I want
I
to
gotta get some toothpicks.
Krista, you all right? The rum kicking in?
Sorry, should I do this?
There you go.
Yes, my laird. Yes, my laird.
I need to get a coin that says that. Laird
Yeah, you
Victor
do.
A.
Yeah, you gotta get one with you with a kilt. That's what it needs
Yes.
to be. And get one to all of us.
Yes. Challenge accepted.
Seriously thought he had food, but then I kept seeing it. I was like, "Oh, it's the cigar." And then I thought, "Oh, yeah, it's food. Oh, it's the cigar. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's food. Oh, it's the cigar." I was like, "Third time, Krista, you're gonna have to lighten up, babe, or wise up here. Come on."
That's how you. He goes like this.
Yeah,
That's the best part of it.
that's the best part of the cigar, not the bitter part, like a cigarette.
That's how Streeter used to smoke all of his cigarettes. Joe Streeter, you guys know him? Every time, every cigarette was
Who is this?
Joe Streeter.
Joe Strait. He watches these podcasts. No, I don't know if he does. Good old Joe. He is
Every time,
big time
every
into
puff on
Estes
every
Park.
cigarette was.
Did any of you guys know Dick Fleet? Have any of y'all ever heard of Dick Fleet? Okay, he might have been before your time. He passed away.
I've
recently.
heard the name. Yes, I've heard the
He
name.
What was the name again?
Dick Fleet.
Dick
He
Fleece.
was in the 70s, so he might have been. He was before our time. He was Chris DeBal's time, Mark Price's time.
Okay.
Yeah, he passed away recently.
I haven't heard
I'll
anything
ask you
from-
this, Krista. Did you know Joel Stafford?
I did not. Ron did, but I've heard the name just because of association with my spouse. Yeah.
I've been trying to track him down. I have no idea where he's at. I don't. He just kind of disappeared when he got out of the Marine Corps.
I'll see if I can help
Unfortunately,
you with that later. Okay.
by nature of how he got out,
Okay.
he
I'll see if I can-
retired. But
Okay.
yeah,
I might have some information on him for you. Okay.
okay.
Sure, be glad to. Absolutely. Mhm.
Well, Aaron, you got to go.
All right. It is Mother's Day, and we all need to say it one time for the one mother that's on here. Vic, happy Mother's Day.
Happy birthday!
Just kidding, Krista. Krista, that's enough. That's enough.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Krista, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Krista.
Happy
To
Mother's
my
Day.
mom.
Mother's Day, Krista.
Oh,
Kristen too. Happy Mother's Day to you too.
Yeah.
Coco,
And
Krista,
Coco as
Kaylee,
well. Yep.
whatever
Kelly.
you are.
thanks, guys, and to your wives as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Appreciate
To
it.
all
I
the
hope you
mothers
guys
out
have-
there, happy Mother's Day. We love you. You did a heck of a job having to raise us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. To our spouses, thank you for putting up with us and helping us raise our crazy ones. So by that I meant us. 'Cause, you
It
know,
doesn't mean we did a good job. It just means we stuck around.
wow.
I don't ever take credit for doing a good job. Just being here. I just showed up. That's all.
Showing up's half the battle. That's what I hear.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's true. Yeah.
I didn't quit.
All
All I
right,
can
Matt.
say is my family wouldn't be where we're at today if it wasn't for my wife.
Yeah.
So,
That's right. Yeah, my
Yeah,
mom
it's-
walked out, so she didn't stay. But so at least I showed up, right? So showing
right.
up is part of it.
That's the majority. You do that, you're doing
That's
pretty
right.
good. Yeah.
That's the
All right,
fun
last parting shots. Anyone want to go round robin here? Krista.
part. No shots left unfired. We're good today. So it was a good
All
day. It was a
right.
rum day. It didn't rain, so it was a good day.
Okay.
Good day in the pool.
Nice. And Mike.
I was listening to another podcast. They were talking about everybody knows Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
He got an award I think last month. But everybody knows Jelly Rolls. convicted criminal. He spent time in prison, jail, whatever. But he accepted he was in Texas, and he said, until you finally realize that the pain you're in right now is worse than the pain of changing and becoming a different person, you will never succeed. Basically, and that's not a good verbatim, but his point was you have to finally understand that the pain you're in now is worse than the pain of you changing, whether that be drug addiction, alcohol addiction, the mental health aspect of things. You have to be willing to understand that change is good and you can change. And the pain you're in now is worse than the pain of changing. That's not me. That was him, and I'm sure I didn't give it any credit by the translation that I just said. But
it sounded good to this guy.
Oh, okay.
Like, say it like that.
No, yeah. So
okay.
Noted.
So I actually had one, and now I can't even remember it, Mike. Because that was pretty good.
I'm sorry.
No. That definitely topped mine. So you got me thinking, and I was like, man, that's pretty good. I know you're giving credit to Jelly Roll, but the point taken, right? The pain that you're currently in is definitely worse than what you would be in if you accept change and changing.
Yeah.
Hey, we're deep tonight. I like it.
So I don't have anything else to add.
I'm sorry, Eric.
Well, Vic, you gotta good luck.
All I'll say is the grass is greener where you water.
Stop it. Say it one more time. Stop.
The grass is greener where you water it.
I don't like you, but
pay attention to where you spend your time.
Absolutely.
You spend your time thinking about, I guess.
Okay. All right. Well, I wish I had something genius to say, but I don't. But what I can tell you is if you're struggling and you need help, please reach out. The VA has some incredible stuff out there. You can always dial 988, press option 1. You can text 939-288, or you can go to veteranscrisisline.net, click on that chat icon. Any of those options are going to get you in contact with somebody that can help you out. So one veteran life loss is one too many. Please reach out for help. I care about you. I know the rest of the podcast crew here cares about you. All the veterans care about you, and please reach out for help. If it just means just contacting one person, that's better than not contacting anybody. So please reach out. With that, podcast crew, you guys rock. I don't care what anybody says about you. And to everybody out there, stay motivated, change your socks.